These are the top 20 games with insane hand-to-hand combat. 20. Yakuza 0. This is the definition of stylish street fighting. It's raw, fast, and ridiculously fun to play. You switch between fighting styles on the fly, from Kiryu's heavy, deliberate power to Majima's wild breakdancing chaos, and every move feels perfectly animated. The combat has that perfect balance of weight and speed. Punches land with bone-crunching force, but you can still chain combos and dodges without missing a beat. Heat actions bring in cinematic finishers that never get old. Slamming heads into the tables, kicking thugs through doors, or hitting a suplex in a neon-lit alley. What makes it special is the rhythm. Once you learn the flow, fights feel like controlled chaos, messy, but beautiful. Every encounter tells a story without saying a word. Yakuza 0 doesn't just have great combat. It has the best street brawling energy ever put into a game. 19. Streets of Rage 4. A masterclass in how to bring old school brawling into the modern era. Every punch, kick, and combo hits with satisfying precision, and the animation work makes it all look buttery smooth. You can juggle enemies in midair, chain dash attacks into grabs, and unleash flashy supers without breaking the rhythm. What's cool is how responsive it feels. You're never stuck waiting for an animation. Everything connects exactly when you expect it to. The sound design and hit feedback are perfect too. That classic thwack when a punch lands is pure nostalgia. It's simple, it's fast, and it's insanely replayable. Streets of Rage 4 keeps the spirit of the old school beat 'em ups alive, but with the fluidity and polish of something brand new. It's proof that sometimes tight controls and great feedback are all you need for a perfect hand-to-hand combat. 18. Marvel's Spider-Man. When people think of Spider-Man, they think of swinging. But the real magic happens when you hit the ground and start fighting. The hand-to-hand combat here is pure flow. You're flipping over enemies, web-yanking weapons, dodging at the perfect frame, and chaining combos mid-air, like it's second nature. The animations are so smooth that it feels more like dance choreography than brawling. And the best part? The combat system rewards creativity. You can combine gadgets, aerial strikes, and finishers in endless ways, and it all feels natural. The movement never breaks, the pace never drops, and every punch feels light but snappy, just like Spidey himself. It's energetic, fast, and stylish without being overcomplicated. Marvel's Spider-Man makes you feel agile, powerful, and in total control of every motion. It's superhero hand-to-hand combat done absolutely right. 17. Absolum. Absolum might not have the fame of AAA fighters, but in terms of pure combat flow, it's incredible. It's a smaller indie game that focuses entirely on rhythm, movement, and timing. Every punch, dodge, and parry connects in one seamless motion. It's almost hypnotic once you lock into the rhythm. The animations are sharp, and the sound feedback makes every strike feel rewarding. What really makes it stand out is how skill-based it is. You can't just mash your way through. You gotta stay calm, read the flow, and react perfectly. It's got that same satisfying balance of control and chaos that games like Sifu nailed, just with a different tempo. Absolum proves that hand-to-hand combat doesn't need a massive budget to feel good. It just needs tight controls, clear feedback, and that perfect sense of impact. It's simple, clean, and endlessly addictive. 16. Fist of the North Star. Lost Paradise. This game is pure chaos in the best way possible. This is a game where punches don't just hurt, they detonate. Every hit feels like an explosion. Every combo ends in something gloriously over the top. Built on the Yakuza engine, it combines that same free-flow combat system with ridiculous anime energy. You can unleash pressure point finishers that make enemies literally explode. And it never gets old. Despite all the absurdity, the combat still feels clean and responsive. The flow, the counters, the impact, it's all dialed in perfectly. It's fast, it's violent, and it's unapologetically dramatic. And when you chain those hits together into a full combo, it feels amazing. Lost Paradise doesn't just give you hand-to-hand combat. It gives you hand-to-hand spectacle. It's raw, overpowered fun, and it makes every fight feel like the end of the world. 15. Judgment. Judgment takes the Yakuza formula and refines it into something even slicker. The hand-to-hand combat here feels faster, flashier, and more dynamic than ever. You play as Takayuki Yagami, a detective who fights like a trained martial artist, and every move he makes looks and feels authentic. You can switch between two main fighting styles on the fly, one for crowd control, one for precise, powerful hits. The transitions are seamless, and the combos flow beautifully once you get into a rhythm. You can run up walls, launch enemies into the air, or chain finishers that look straight out of a movie. And it all happens without slowing the pace for even a second. Judgment keeps that signature Yakuza flair, but polishes it with a tighter movement and sharper timing. It's fast, stylish, and hands down one of the smoothest brawlers Sega's ever made. 14. Tekken 7. Tekken 7 isn't just a fighting game. It's a full-blown martial arts showcase. Every character has their own rhythm, their own stance, and their own flow. The punches and kicks hit with weight, but the speed and responsiveness make it feel alive. The movement system, sidesteps, backdashes, wave dashes, gives you complete control of the fight, and that's what makes it so satisfying. You're not just reacting, you're reading your opponent, punishing mistakes, and stringing together combos that feel like real choreography. The sound design makes every hit pop, and when you land a perfect counter or a slow motion finish, it's pure adrenaline. It's clean, technical, and ridiculously fun once it clicks. Tekken 7 proves that when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, precision beats flash every time. It's skill, style, and flow, all wrapped in one perfect fighting game. 13. Mad Max. People don't talk enough about how good the combat in Mad Max actually is. Everyone remembers the cars, the wasteland, the explosions. But when Max gets out and starts throwing hands, the game really shines. It uses a counter-based system similar to Arkham, but it's way more brutal. Every punch has weight, every block feels like you're taking real impact, and the finishers are straight up vicious. You can break arms, slam enemies into the dirt, and feel every hit through the controller. The best part is how fluid it all is. No stiff transitions, no delay, just smooth, grounded movement that perfectly fits Max's style. It's dirty, desperate fighting that feels authentic to the world. Mad Max proves you don't need superpowers to make combat feel powerful. Just grit, timing, and that satisfying crunch of knuckles meeting jaw. Pure, dusty perfection. 12. Absolver. This is the kind of game that quietly blew people's minds. It's all about martial arts. No guns, no gadgets. Just your fists, feet, and skill. You build your own fighting style from dozens of unique moves, creating a personal combo deck that feels totally yours. Every encounter becomes a chess match in motion. Dodges, parries, and stance changes flowing together in real time. The animations are smooth and realistic, making every fight feel like a sparring match rather than a brawl. And when you fight another skilled player, it's like a dance. Both of you reading, reacting, adapting. There's no health spam, no gimmicks, just timing, rhythm. Absolver might look small compared to AAA games, but in terms of pure hand-to-hand design, it's easily one of the best ever made. It's calm, deliberate, and incredibly rewarding when mastered. 11. Bully. Bully might not look like a traditional combat game, but its hand-to-hand fighting is surprisingly good and way ahead of its time. Rockstar nailed the feeling of teenage brawls with a system that's simple, responsive, and super satisfying. You've got dodges, grapples, counters, and a mix of punches, kicks, and headlocks that all flow together naturally. What makes it stand out is how dynamic it feels for an open world game. You can fight in hallways, classrooms, or out in the streets, and the physics still hold up. The sound design is perfect too. That crunchy smack when a punch lands is addictive. It's not flashy or over the top, but that's what makes it great. It's grounded. It feels like a real schoolyard fight. Bully didn't need superpowers or cinematic slow-mo. It made simple hand-to-hand combat feel raw, funny, and genuinely fun to master. 10. Fightin' in Rage. This game feels like an old-school beat-em-up that somehow time-traveled from the arcade days straight into modern gaming. It's fast, it's tight, and every combo feels buttery smooth. You can dash, cancel, juggle, parry, and it all just flows together beautifully. The game doesn't waste a second. No cutscenes, no fluff, just straight combat from the jump. Every punch lands with impact, and a chaining combos feels effortless once you get in the zone. It's got that perfect blend of old school simplicity and modern responsiveness that makes it feel timeless. Add in local co-op and some insane combo potential, and it's just non-stop action. Fight and Rage proves you don't need fancy graphics or a big budget. Just sharp controls, great feedback, and combat that feels amazing every single second. 9. Chivalry 2. Chivalry 2 might look like a sword fighting game, but the melee system is so good that even going bare knuckle feels great. It's chaotic, it's messy, and it's hilarious in the best way possible. You're swinging, blocking, dodging, and punching in the middle of a medieval battlefield. And somehow, it all feels fluid. The timing system is clean, so a well-timed counter or jab actually matters. You can throw a punch, knee someone, or even headbutt them mid-fight. And when weapons break or you drop them, you can still throw hands. That's the best part. No matter what's happening, the combat never stops being fun. It's brutal, unpredictable, and somehow perfectly balanced between skill and comedy. Few games make Melee feel this alive. Chivalry 2 proves that even in armor, good old-fashioned fistfights never go out of style. 8. Enter the Matrix. Enter the Matrix is messy in all the best ways. The shooting's fine, but when you start throwing hands, that's when it gets fun. The hand-to-hand combat blends kung fu moves with cinematic slow-mo, letting you chain kicks, throws, and counters like you're straight out of a Wachowski fight scene. You can run on walls, flip behind enemies, or knock them across rooms, and it all flows together smoothly when you get into the rhythm. Back in 2003, nothing else looked or felt like it. The animations had weight. The slow motion focus mode gave you time to flex, and the overall vibe was pure movie magic. Sure, it's rough around the edges, but when it clicks, it feels amazing. If you ever wanted to actually be in the Matrix, this is the closest gaming's ever gotten to that kung fu fantasy. 7. The Bouncer. Alright, this one's a deep cut. The Bouncer. Early PS2 players remember this one for its crazy cinematic presentation, but underneath that, it's got some legit hand-to-hand combat. You've got 3 characters, each with different martial arts styles, and the motion capture still looks surprisingly smooth for its time. Fights are fast, flashy, and super physical. You're throwing punches, launching kicks, and knocking guys through furniture like you're in a Hong Kong action movie. Yeah, the game's short and has way too many cutscenes, but when you're actually fighting, it feels awesome. The way combos flow, the weight behind the hits, it had style way ahead of its era. The Bouncer walks so modern cinematic brawlers could run. Short, sweet, and pure PS2 chaos. It's still one of the coolest early attempts at making hand-to-hand combat look and feel real. 6. Urban Reign. This is one of those forgotten gems that hit way harder than anyone expected. Made by the same devs behind Tekken, this game is basically a street brawler with fighting game DNA. Every punch and kick feels heavy. Every counter is sharp, and the combo system has real depth once you start learning it. You can team up with a partner for tag team takedowns, throw enemies across the screen, or even parry mid-fight like a pro. What's wild is how fluid it feels for a PS2 game. No stiffness, no button spam nonsense, just straight satisfying combat. You're not just mashing, you're reading your opponent and responding with precision. It's gritty, technical, and super underrated. If you love the feeling of mastering a fight system that actually respects your timing and skill, Urban Reign still holds up as one of the cleanest brawlers ever made. 5. God of War Ragnarok. When you think of God of War, you think of Kratos and that axe. But the real power comes from his bare hands. The moment you unequip your weapon and start brawling, the game changes tempo completely. Punches land with thunder. Shield bashes send enemies flying. And the feedback is next level. You can chain grapples, finishers, and parries with zero delay, and it all feels heavy but smooth. Every animation syncs perfectly with Kratos' raw power, and that's what makes it so satisfying. The sound design, that crunch when a hit lands, just adds to the brutality. It's rare for a game to make unarmed combat feel this impactful, but God of War nails it. It's primal, powerful, and surprisingly graceful. When Kratos throws hands, it's not just combat. It's controlled rage in motion. 4. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs nailed something most open-world games miss. Weight and flow in melee combat. Every punch, kick, and counter feels sharp, and the animations blend together perfectly. As Wei Shen, you're fighting through Hong Kong's underworld using pure martial arts, and the way the game captures that motion is unreal. You can counter mid-chain, grapple enemies, and use the environment for brutal takedowns, smashing heads into walls or slamming guys through tables. It's fast but never sloppy, violent but always stylish. The sound of each hit and the impact feedback make you feel every strike. There's no spamming here. Timing matters, and that's what makes it so satisfying. It's like Arkham Combat met a kung fu movie. Sleeping Dogs is one of those games where every fight feels cinematic, even when it's just a random street brawl. Still one of the best. 3. Yakuza. Like a dragon, the Yakuza series has some of the most stylish street fighting ever put in a game. It's raw, loud, and chaotic, but somehow incredibly smooth at the same time. You're brawling in back alleys, grabbing bikes, smashing faces into walls, and pulling off finishers that look straight out of an action movie. But what makes it special is the rhythm. The timing on combos, the weight behind every hit, and the flow between grapples and dodges. It's all dialed in perfectly. It feels personal, messy, and cinematic in the best way. Each character has their own style too, from Kiryu's disciplined power to Majima's unpredictable chaos. And even when the series went turn-based later on, the legacy of that fluid hand-to-hand combat stayed untouched. Few games make a street fight feel this alive. Yakuza is chaos with control, and it's glorious. 2. Sifu. Sifu is a repetition-based pure mastery. It takes control, timing, and accuracy in addition to hitting and kicking. Every battle seems intimate, like a one-on-one endurance and reflex test. You're moving in a manner that resembles authentic martial arts as you dodge, parry, strike, and counter. Additionally, you recognize that you are responsible for your mistakes, and don't blame the game. It is highly addicting because of this. Your abilities change as you get older and stronger, and all of a sudden you can read your foes like a book. Clean, flowing, hand-to-hand combat that rewards discipline and focus, without any gimmicks or cheap techniques. Every animation flows naturally, and every hit lands with intention. It's terrible, beautiful, and incredibly fulfilling. Sifu is more than a game. For mastery, and it nails the feeling of earning every single victory. 1. Batman. Arkham Knight. This is what happens when hand-to-hand combat feels like choreography. Every punch, counter, and gadget flows together so cleanly it's almost hypnotic. You can take on 20 enemies at once and somehow make it look effortless. The free flow system here is peak rocksteady. You're reacting, not just button mashing. The game reads your inputs instantly, and the animations transition so smoothly it feels like you're controlling an actual fight scene. It's cinematic without losing control, heavy without being slow, and still unmatched years later. When Batman cracks a jaw or flips a thug over his shoulder, it hits with perfect weight. This isn't just brawling, it's combat rhythm. Arkham Knight doesn't just make you feel like Batman, it makes you fight like him. Clean, technical, and unbelievably satisfying. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the list, drop a like and comment for more videos.